This episode of Walk the Plank is sponsored by Steel City Con, where pop culture rules. Check them out on Facebook and at steelcitycon.com for upcoming events and guests. Coming up on this special episode of Walk the Plank, I talk with series creator Eric Sprouse about receiving the Vortex Channel's Golden Turkey Award. The past and present cast and crew of Dead and Buried Treasures are reunited for this special Christmas episode. I give you a sneak peek at tonight's movie and share with you an exclusive interview with Chris Presley, otherwise known as Jasper the Caretaker. All that and more coming up next. Welcome to Walk the Plank, the Dead and Buried Treasures pre-show. I'm your host, Rich Kanji, and that holly jolly mofo over there is the series creator, Eric Sprouse. Merry Christmas.
Hi, Rich. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I love the holidays. I love it.
Great. So, Merry Christmas, first of all.
Merry Christmas.
I'm excited about tonight's episode because this is going to be an all-new Christmas episode of Dead and Buried Treasures.
Right.
And with that being said, with a new episode of Dead and Buried Treasures, the hardest working man in horror host television, I must say, you deserve an award for all that you've done this year.
Me?
You do.
Stop.
Producing a beautiful Christmas episode like tonight, it's nice to see that you got that award. Not just any award, the prestigious Golden Turkey Award.
Right.
Could you explain to the fans at home a little more about this award that you were bestowed upon?
It's funny because I feel like I dressed up in my pajamas for tonight.
You look good. You're festive.
I am. I'm festive. That's the whole point with my colonial musket on the wall. Anyway, the Vortex is an avenue, is a television network that we're on for the show, among others. All the affiliates here in Pittsburgh. We do the Monster Channel and the one in Buffalo, and we just opened up to the Moon Township audience and Fayette County, Washington County. We're doing all these different venues, and the Vortex bestowed upon us an award. We were the winner of the Golden Turkey Award this year for the best horror host show in the country on the network. And they gave us I didn't even expect it. They kind of tricked me because I tuned in the other night when they first gave it to us. This was on Thanksgiving because we had an episode on at 9:00. And I said, oh, that's kind of neat. We have a prime time episode. And when I tuned in, they decided to announce the award then. They said, well, let's play the show. And they played the award-winning announcement. And, of course, you will see that here on Walk the Plank here in a second or so. But they gave us the award. It was a 24-hour marathon, a big golden turkey trophy and all the fun that goes with it. And it was really surprised. I humbled by it because some of my fellow horror hosts that I talk to all the time, I was among them, and now I'm in the ranks with a lot of them. And so it's something that I thought was really nice, and we worked very hard on. You did, I did, Professor Gertie, Marabella, Aline Isley, Jasper just got on the show. We have other stars coming on down the pike. So it's a nice way to kick off the end of 2021, focusing on 2022.
That's right. And we do have a small clip of this ceremony, so we do have that to share with you.
I guess I'm going to set it up. I guess what the fans are going to see, what the viewers are going to see, is exactly what they did to me when they played the clip and they said, "Oh, guess what? This is for you."
Welcome. Thank you for being here tonight as we celebrate this year's Golden Turkey Award winner for the Vortex. This prestigious digital make-believe award has been given every year in the 11 years we've been broadcasting to a host we feel is worthy of it. A host who has gone above and beyond for the Vortex. Vortex staff members are ineligible. Sorry guys, I'll make it up to you in your Christmas bonuses. As if they get Christmas bonuses. Where was I? A host who has made promotion videos for us and who has promoted the Vortex on social media and the internet in general. This year's host has an endless well of creativity and charm. And now, it's time to announce the winner of the Vortex Golden Turkey Award for 2021. Drum roll, please. Arr! Congratulations, Drake! A Dead and Buried Treasures 24-hour marathon is your prize! And it begins now!
Well, that is amazing. I congratulations, well deserved. I'm very happy for you.
I think everybody deserves a great big round of applause that works on our show. I mean, it's really hard to do, and COVID changed everything. I mean, this is not the original way we did Walk the Plank. You and I would sit down on the show and talk about horror there in the studio, and now we do it across the miles with Zoom. Thank God for Zoom. Zoom wasn't even a word, was it, back in pre-COVID? But we really use it now.
Yeah.
And it's just things a lot easier. And it's not that we're lazy, it's just that we're trying to keep the protocol in place because unfortunately for us, the pandemic isn't going anywhere. Even with the vaccines and everything, it's not a cure, it's a vaccine. So, we're just playing it safe. But
and you don't have to wear pants.
That's right. I'm here in my Santa Claus PJ.
Everybody wins.
I don't have my reindeer PJs on right now. It's not on right now, but just all the viewers at home.
Well, we believe you.
That's right. So we don't have to wear pants.
Yeah.
I have to laugh because the other night, this Christmas episode tonight, real quick, I'll say this. It features everybody that's ever been on the show as crew in the episode. Yes. Like sometimes we'll have a Gertie episode, or sometimes we'll have a Marabella episode, or sometimes we'll have a Jasper episode. But everybody that's been on the show ever to this point is on tonight. And we do that for a reason, because we have this double agent somewhere on the ship. And we do it almost like a Agatha Christie bit where it's like, who is it? And we go around the room. We're looking at all the suspects. You know what I mean? And no one knows who it is. And I've had all this viewer voicemail, social media responses saying guesses at it. But the reason I brought it up is because when you said that, you're sitting there in your segment, you're like trying to smoke this cigar, whining about how I got to do this in the Bat Cave. And It made me laugh because you said, I got to check this out. You get up and said, I'll be right back. And then you said back then, I said, I'm not wearing pants.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in the bloopers at the end of the show tonight, because we have a lot of bloopers. This was a fun episode to do. And, sometimes that's worth it alone, just for the blooper reel.
Right. So, 2 questions about this episode.
Yeah.
One, are we going to finally find out who this double agent is at the end of the episode? Are we going to get an answer that you've been teasing?
I don't want to say exactly, but let's put it this way. Tonight we reveal all of the suspects.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way to do it. So get your scorecards out, because we leave hints about who it could be across the board, and all the hints are there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've laid this out 4 or 5 episodes down the pike. So all the hints are there of who it could be, but it's still kind of fun because it's almost like a whodunit. And all the viewers at home are going to have to, keep track of who's doing what and what all's going on, because everything's been connected for the last few shows.
That's exciting. I can't wait. I'm gonna take my notes. And the other question I have is, with this big get together, this big party, who's catering this?
Well, Papa, of course. Papa and Tap. They're going to be catering the whole thing for this tonight. So, and it's a lot of fun too, because I should have played the episode, and then there were none in this episode for Christmas, because it's you have all of these suspects gathered together on the ship in one big party, a Christmas party, and then we keep going back and forth to see who's the double agent, and no one knows. You don't know, and but somebody is not as they seem. That's for certain. Yep. I
can't wait. So tonight's movie is Don't Open Till Christmas. It's a 1984 film. I love the 80s, as you know. So I'm kind of excited about this, because I've never seen this movie. I've never seen it, not once. So I know nothing about it. I'm excited to see what this is all about.
I hadn't seen it either. And very few Christmas movies out there that have to do with horror or things of that nature. I mean, there are a few. There's Silent Night, Bloody Night. There's Silent Night, Deadly Night, but it's copyrighted. There's He Knows You're Alone. There's Christmas Evil. There's things like that. But I'd never seen tonight's feature. And I thought, well, Don't Open Till Christmas. It was an English feature. It's about a serial killer who goes after people dressed as Santa Claus in the streets of London. So it was kind of part Jack the Ripper and kind of part thriller, and it was from the 80s, and it helped me open some other doors, because the same production company that did this tonight also created Slaughter High and a few other public domain flicks that I might be able to use in 2022. So it opened a few doors for us, and all we had to do was just host it.
That's great. So let's take a look at Don't Open Till Christmas.
Well, we can't do that. You're not allowed to open it till Christmas, Rich.
Let's take a peek at Don't Open Till Christmas.
There you go. Let's take a peek at it.
Yeah, just a little peek. Put the tape back the way you found it.
A homicidal maniac is loose at Christmas. His target is Santa Claus. No one dressed as Santa Claus is safe. His death toys are a spear, a gun, an open razor, a dagger, or a garrote. Execution by any means. Don't open till Christmas. Some Santa Clauses ignore the warnings. He surely wouldn't attack a woman. Don't Open Till Christmas with special guest star Carolyn Monroe. terror drives one Santa Claus into a house of wax. Amidst the wax and plaster, a real body, warm flesh, wet blood. Don't open till Christmas.
What possible reason could I have for going around killing Santas?
Oh, none. That we know of.
Yeah, I'm coming to get you.
So, Santa, did you bring me any presents?
I'm not the real one.
Starring Edmund Purdom, who knows there are only 3 more killing days till Christmas. Don't open till Christmas. If you do, you may not see in the new year.
You know, it's funny. When we wrote this episode, you and I had the idea because we wanted to do something short that we could do the cooking thing with Chef Papa and Talia and make it short. And the more that we got involved, the more that we wrote it, the more I said, man, it's not going to be like that. This is actually a pretty complicated episode because it involves everybody in the history of Dead and Buried Treasures that's been on the show, the whole crew, and of course, Jasper. And I'd worked with Jasper, aka Christopher Presley. I call him CK because I've known him for about 20 years, 25 years actually. And he was a student of mine when I taught at California University, and now he's all grown up, and I'm all grown up. Not that you'd guess it dressed like this, but he had a character that he has continued to play even to this day. He loves to play these old people characters, and he does it for this attraction he does for Haunted House Awards. And so we kind of resurrected our friendship, and we started talking, and the rest is history. And of course, he created Jasper the Caretaker.
So without further ado, let's get to the interview with Mr. Chris Presley. Well, tonight's guest plays the hilarious and entertaining Jasper the Caretaker. I want to welcome Chris Presley to the show.
Yeah, is this how this thing works? I can't see you.
Over here.
What? Here, oh, there you are.
Chris Presley, welcome.
Hello. How you
Well, this
doing?
is excellent. This is an honor. And I want to say, since it is the holiday season, Merry Christmas, because,
Merry
well,
Christmas.
that's the big holiday today.
It came up quick this year.
It really did. I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, no, me either.
So, you know, I'm impressed. I got to say, impressed by the character you play, the caretaker, Jasper the Caretaker.
No, thank you.
I said this to you before. I would never have known Jasper you played by a younger man. You know, I'm not going to ask you your age, but you sure as heck don't look like an old man.
I'll be honest, I don't feel that much younger.
So you do an amazing job playing Jasper. Speaking of Jasper, I do have a few questions about Jasper. What was your inspiration behind Jasper?
The inspiration comes in 2 different parts. It's the old man is actually a character that I used to play on another one of Eric's shows called Fright Night Friday. But we wanted this character to be a little different. You know, I actually still, gosh, that was back in the mid to late 90s, and I actually still had 95% of the costume. Actually, I still had everything in the costume, but only 95% of it actually still fit. you do add on a few pounds as the years go by.
Right.
So the shirt wasn't that big of didn't fit very well. So I ended up getting a new shirt, but I still had all the stuff. And, you know, Eric and I have talked, and we've kind of kept in touch a little bit and more so that, you know, in the last year or so. And I said, hey, you know, it would be really funny to put this character or something like it on your show. And so we started to develop the character a little bit more. Like I said, we wanted it something to be a little different, but the primary inspiration comes from a variety of different sources, from Tim Conway's Old Man from the Carol Burnett Show to Grandpa Simpson. I'm a huge fan of Mel Brooks, and he's had a lot of old characters in a lot of the shows that he's done. Another inspiration is the old man in History of the World Part 1 during the French Revolution, the old man that was locked up in jail.
Okay.
No, be free, wee! That was kind of a lot of the inspiration and characters that I drew on to help create Jasper.
Wow. Well, amazing job. Amazing. What's it like working with Eric again?
It's like nothing has ever changed. It's like nothing changed. I mean, the years just kind of disappeared. And one of the things that I loved working with Eric is that we always were on the same wavelength of what the character should do, how the character should act. Me feeding off of him and him feeding off of me to create the script for the character. So it's like the last 20 years just completely disappeared. So it's great.
Wow, that's awesome. So can you give us a little more insight behind your character?
So Jasper is the caretaker of the island. He planted the movie Tree of Life according to Calypso's wishes. And he's just been there taking care of the movies, behind the scenes, never really being seen. But a lot of the times that's probably because he's somewhere asleep. But yeah, he's always there. He's been behind the scenes. So he's always known what, Captain Drake has been doing on the island and all the shenanigans that he's been up to and everything. But he's just been behind the scenes until, unfortunately, he was found out. His snoring was a little bit too loud, and my wife says that I wasn't acting on that one.
Here, wait. The older we get, the earlier it gets late.
So Eric tells me that you do a haunted house award show. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I belong to the Halloween community, usually called haunters. And there's tons of Facebook groups out there of people that just go out and build these elaborate props and displays. Some people even create walkthroughs where they have actors to come out and do scares and stuff like that. It's all done in the person's home. They're not charging any money to do this. They may, request cans of food, dog food, blankets, or request money for donations for a particular charity. But they're the ones that are pouring their heart and their soul and their own money into these elaborate displays and props. I myself have done, a bunch of different props for my house as well. And my friend, I have a friend who lives in Oregon, and he and I got together one year and said, we had another friend that had the Home Haunter Award Show, and he ran it for like 6 years. And he had to stop due to, family and everything else like that. He couldn't contribute the time to it anymore. And so my friend Troy and I said, well, he was doing it all by himself and he was doing a phenomenal job, but let's kind of take the workload off of each other. Let's do it together. So for the last 3 years, we've been producing the Home Haunter Award Show. And in all honesty, the way we did it our first year is exactly the way that Eric and I are filming Dead and Buried Treasures. He lives in Oregon. I live in North Carolina. So he filmed a bunch of his stuff in cemeteries. And I, luckily enough, I'm good friends with a guy that owns actually a haunted trail, about an hour away from me. And he allowed me to come out at his trail and film in a few various locations. And that's exactly what we did. We kind of fed off of one another. We each gave each other a script, and then by ourselves, we acted them out and then just edited everything together. So I'm kind of an old pro at this now, I guess.
Yeah, I would say so, definitely.
But last year or actually this year, for this year's award show, we were lucky enough and we traveled out to Tennessee, the both of us, and we actually met in Tennessee and we filmed together. For this year's award show for 2021, we're going to be going up to Ohio, and spending a few days up there filming for the award show up there. So we're actually, our website is open. We're actually accepting submissions now for this year's award show. So,
oh, that's great. What's the website?
It's www.hhawards.rip. R-I-P.
That's great. We'll see that any the fans that watch, I'm sure some of them are big horror fans and like to decorate their house. There you go. They need to contact you.
Absolutely. If they've taken video of their props or their house or whatever and they want to submit it, we welcome it.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with me and share some insight with the fans. I got to tell you, on a personal level, one of my favorite characters on the show was, obviously Captain Calico Drake. There you go, Eric. There's your plug, because God forbid if I don't say it wasn't Calico Drake.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, but Reggie was always my favorite character. I loved Reggie, but that has changed now. Because it's now Jasper the Caretaker.
Look, you just used a lot of big words right there, so I'm just going to flash you the cool boy look and go make myself an egg cream. Turbo power!
I want to see that. That's going to be on a t-shirt one of these days. I'm calling it now. There's going to be a Jasper t-shirt with turbo power.
Turbo power, yeah.
It has to happen.
Hey, and it's good advice too. I mean, if you think about it, it's fantastic advice.
It is, and we use it here.
Turbo power and walk faster.
I love it. I never laughed so hard, but it's such a good show, and I'm so glad you're on it. I'm so glad Jasper's here. So
thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show, and I can't wait to see more from you.
Fantastic. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Well, as I said, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Chris Presley in the future.
He's a very talented young man, isn't he?
He is. He really is.
He's so like, I'll write the scripts of how I want Jasper to be played, like this kind of senile yet sharp and smart aleck old man, because most older people are sharp, but get undersold because of it. And he's just really good at what he does, and I'll write most of it, but he'll inflect a lot of his own take on things, and he does a great job. It was so good to have him.
Yeah, definitely. So all that is coming up next. We got to get you to the movie. This has been fun, and Merry Christmas, Eric, and Merry Christmas to all the viewers out there.
Merry Christmas, Rich, to you and yours. Merry Christmas to everybody on the show. Merry Christmas to our viewers. Merry Christmas to the Vortex. Merry Christmas to all of our affiliates out there. It's a blast doing this show, and I can't believe we've done another year's worth, because we came on the air in January of 19. That's right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So we've been on the air for 3 years. This will be our fourth season coming up starting in January. I can't believe it. Where does the time go?
I know.
But Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll see you in January.
That's right. Merry Christmas. See you next year.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drinking the devil be done for the rest. Yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. The mate was fixed by the possum's spike. Possum's brain with a marlin spike. And a cookie's throat was marked belike. Had been gripped by fingers then. And they lay, oh,